tune in.
Or it's recording. There it is. Well, but you're here.
Yeah, you're ready to pay it.
I vote no on everything. Who's that?
How about, okay, what if we say we're closing the meeting in 5 minutes? You're gonna vote no for that? Except that. Except for that.
What kind of responsibility would that say? Yeah, that's what one guy said.
Oh.
Okay, ready? Where's we gonna be?
Huh?
Where's we
Yeah,
gonna be?
really.
I'll get in
I
here.
hope I don't snore.
We'll tell you that.
No, you don't want to get it, whatever it is.
Okay.
People can't see you there though, Paul.
That's too bad.
Too
Yeah,
bad.
he can stay
It's
over
all
there.
right.
Yeah, I don't know if I could, I don't think I can get the camera to catch that as well
You
as,
know,
Pat.
He's just
people
trying.
can make an allowance.
Mhm.
There's a nice open spot next to Leslie where he could move around to and then we'd see him.
Yeah, except that he's
He
not
happens to be
feeling well,
sick, I'm not, yeah.
so he's trying to keep his distance.
Yeah, we don't want to catch what he has. He said that.
Okay, so. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's call the meeting to order at 6:02. And there's one addition, at least to the agenda. We can get that at the end of the business.
Mhm.
Anything else?
What are we adding?
The
What's on the
creating an
agenda?
audit committee for the court,
Creating a what?
an audit committee for the court.
It's already on the,
It's sort of,
Well, it's on as an addition,
yeah,
which we just
Gotcha.
made.
just checking.
gotcha.
Anything else? Because it came to us with the last minute.
Oh, my battery is not.
Oh, well.
I didn't bring it, but that's all right.
You know, we plugged in with you. Don't have a plug. So, privilege of the floor.
Well, no, I had one, there,
You have an addition?
well, at some point, we need to do the AOT, appointing a rep to the annual meeting.
We did it last time,
Yeah, we
No, we
did.
didn't.
didn't we?
We approved 2 people going.
But not naming who the official rep is going to be.
It's a rep that votes at the meeting.
Yeah.
And we have to actually mail in
Uh-huh.
who
Okay,
that is.
yes.
And maybe Mariah's gotten the packet by now. I don't know.
Maybe-
Sometimes it comes late.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not meeting until February, so I wouldn't be surprised if we
It's
did
we usually get it
December.
in the end of November and December.
Yeah.
I believe I just received something of that. It says we need to elect, yeah.
Yep.
And I will put that together for Joel for the December 2nd meeting.
Cool.
Oh, good.
Do you want to wait till next time?
Yeah.
To get the appointment?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put it on as for next meeting.
Also, Jim Holohan, did you get the note from Jim Holohan?
If I did, I didn't see it.
I didn't see one.
I didn't see-
Okay.
No,
You mean a while ago or today?
No, today, I believe he wanted to add something to the agenda.
Should have looked at my,
what's that, Jim?
An energy advisor appointment?
he's already our energy advisor, so that doesn't make any sense.
We usually do
Okay.
that in January.
Yeah, we did, and Jim is it.
Yeah.
So. I didn't, yeah.
Okay.
So maybe he'll tell us by and by what it is that he had in mind. Well, there he is. So Jim, did you want to add something to the agenda? And I didn't see it. You have to unmute yourself.
I was just
There you go.
looking on the list for the appointees, and I didn't know if my name should be on there. I would like to apply to be appointed as the energy advisor again next year.
Good. Oh, good.
I see. Yeah, we,
Yeah, I think the list was mainly people whose terms were expiring.
I don't know if it's a
Not,
one-year term or what.
yeah, people, that position we just do every January.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll just,
but we'll
Well,
do the other
this-
ones in
it
January
is-
too, so, you know.
Well,
It means
it's a
it is
different-
expires
it's not
every
a
year then.
term that's expiring. It's just an annual appointment. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, I don't remember
I'll
we
zip it.
limited it to a year.
Cool.
If we do it every year, then it is.
Oh, yes. Catherine's here, 2 forms.
What?
I'll let you in.
I was looking at your cord, thinking if your charge is fully charged and mine really gets bad, maybe I could borrow it for a minute. It's an Android.
It's
Bug. Or is that a Mac?
not Mac. It's not Mac. And it is fully charged, so you might be able to borrow it. If
Yeah, that's
if
what
it
I'm
works on
thinking.
yours,
It's over there on your,
right here.
oh, that's the power one?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that won't work.
Oh, wait, no, that's not.
Yeah,
the
that
power.
one's
This
over
is
there.
power. One here.
Yeah, you can try it. Thanks. All righty, thank you.
Let's see, where are we? Privilege of the floor. Rhonda has her hand up.
Thank you, that works.
Number one, I wanted to know who was going to be billed for this electrical project at the West Danby Water District. Is this something that's going to be paid for through the water district, or is it going to be paid for by the town?
Neither.
And so how is it going to be paid for?
With the ARPA money.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. The second thing is that I had a long talk with Laura about some of the questions that I had asked at the last meeting. And one of them had to do with this, what is it called again? Youth Commission. And she couldn't answer it, and I sent Catherine an email and asked her about it on I think it was the 12th, and still haven't heard anything from her. And I object to the business of approving certain budget items when they aren't being explained to the people who are paying the taxes. So I still have no idea what's going on with the Youth Commission and why it's $35,000. And I think that's about all. I'm glad there's going to be a crosswalk out there on 96B. That sounds good. Other than that, I guess I don't have much to say. Thanks.
And Ted.
There we go. I have a couple things I wanted to cover, but just with respect to the comment that Jim made, request for an agenda item. I've spoken to Joel about this in the past. Last time around, I'm using the word appointing because you have a procedure for that. He was appointed without posting the position and without any particular interviews or discussion or anything. So if that's the case, then if you're not treating him as an appointee, but as a hire, then of course you don't need to go through it again. Otherwise, you have failed to notify the public that that position is open and you have to start from scratch. Thanks on that. About the minutes of last meeting, under the public hearing for the budget, I am listed as being against the budget, and I would like to protest strongly about that. From what I recall, I said, and from my review of the transcript of the meeting, I made the following comments. 1, I haven't had a chance to read it in detail, so I really can't comment. 2, I was pleased that you made it under the tax cap. 3, that it is a shame that the target was not a zero increase budget, but instead a tax cap, which is of course an increase in potential taxation. And 4, that I spoke about the $1,000 here and $5,000 there. Later on, the phone system came to mind. Basically, the upshot of that is that you could put me in favor. And if you didn't feel it was quite that strong an approval, then you could put me under other. I was surprised that there was a comment, but that's that column, but that's where I belong. I was commenting about the procedure, not the content, because I hadn't read it in detail. And back to the agenda for this meeting, section number 9.2, discussion of appointments, basically. Well, since the deadline for appointments hasn't passed, you can hardly discuss who you might interview. And since you don't know who's going to apply, you can hardly discuss whether there should be interviews. So I would suggest that discussion be very brief because December 4th hasn't passed. And with that, thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Yes,
I was going to say that we should take that off the agenda because we don't have anything to review.
Okay.
I would like to respond to Ted.
Okay,
Oh, wait. There I am. Ted, I'm happy to put you over in the in favor of the budget column. And I apologize if I misinterpreted your favoritism on the budget, but I have you in the in favor column at this point. I hope you accept my apology.
Thank you very much.
Yep. That's all I got.
and I can say that the 9.2 is on there because I misremembered when the deadline was for application. It's in fact, end of November.
I think in the procedure, it actually talks about posting it and mentioning it at every meeting.
Yeah, but then,
So-
but is there a deadline for applications for people to, in our policy?
The agenda item says review applications, which you don't have, so that's what
Yes,
should
well, there's
not be on
that
the
too.
agenda.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, if we're going to schedule any interviews, it would have to be in December. That's why I put it on now. But,
right.
but we could do it at the next meeting and then
Yeah,
we.
I think it, yeah, the
and
first
just-
meeting in December.
Right. So let's take it off. Okay, I think that's it for Code to the Floor. We have some correspondence. Would you like to speak to that, Catherine?
I can, it's on the web there. I will say that for many years, different people in the town have tried to do something about getting a crosswalk across 96B. And I took it on the last time because we had visual evidence of kids trying to cross the road to go to youth group meetings. And so I took some pictures of Heidi with her hands out with the kids behind her. And I called, and earlier the response from the state was the line of sight is too long and there are pluses and minuses of crosswalks. If you have a crosswalk, the people who are waiting to cross think the crosswalk means it's safe. The cars come flying by and don't always recognize or look. They say, oh, that crosswalk's been there forever. I don't see anybody, and they go zoom in. And then there's liability. So for that reason, I didn't have as much hope. And we had talked about different ways to slow down traffic over the years in the planning group. Could we put trees along? Nope, can't do that. Got visual problem and blah, 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 all kinds of things were all fairly, made me think that we weren't getting anywhere. Like last Friday, I got home and there was a message on my answering machine. And she said, the woman, Valerie Kaiser said, this is Valerie Kaiser from the Department of Transportation. I'm calling about next steps for the crosswalk. And in my head, I said, she did not say deny. She said next step. And I called her and we had a really nice conversation. She sent me that letter and a lot of other documents that will help us as we proceed. But there's no There's nothing standing in our way to do it, except the pedestrian landings, and
Mhm.
we have some specific specifications for that today. I talked to her and she said Lansing is doing one as well. And so I called Lansing and and she also said I might be able to see it on Google Earth, but it's not there. The Google Earth and maps are they're outdated for this, but I thought a drive up there wouldn't hurt, plus talking to them, and I told Greg, and he will talk to a counterpart there as well.
Mhm.
So it's exciting. It's very exciting. I'm thrilled. And it's not just about the kids, it's about people on the buses, the TCAT and the
Yeah.
whole bit. So
Yeah.
it's half the people, depending on which way they're going, are likely to be crossing in the dark in part of the year.
Well, yeah, it's time of year,
Period.
it's in the darky both ways.
Yep. So that's what I have to say about it. Yay.
We have a list of terms. Have we gotten applications yet? From anybody whose terms are expiring?
They would come into,
To
Well,
Mariah,
We have, because I've sent,
got
but I don't
some.
know where they are.
I've got a couple.
because I haven't seen you, but
Yeah, Mariah sent out a couple,
where was I? I don't know.
so. Anyway,
Mariah seems like she's speaking,
we're
but she's
talking
not,
about
but
that
she's
next
muted.
meeting, right?
Pardon me, we got about three. Marnie, reapplied for both her positions. And Corbett, we have not heard from several people, Jonathan Zisk. Yeah, we have not heard from anybody on the threat assessment committee. Oh, we did hear from Catherine Hunter.
And I
Thank you.
also,
For the youth commission, right?
and the youth commission, probably, yeah,
But not for the CAC.
not the CAC. I might not have finished it. If it doesn't show, I might not have pushed submit.
Well, Mariah can tell you that.
Well, except that we can do it next meeting. too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we have a start, but with some people we ought to, have some courage to get their
yeah, I'll
applications.
call. Yeah.
Okay. Another announcement. So Greg's not here, but he applied to Design Connect, did the same outfit that Cornell, it's a student-run thing, that does these design projects. They're the same group that did the design for the trail extension
Yeah.
on behalf of a consortium of municipalities, so we have some experience with them. And he applied to have them consider doing a project in Danby on the Dobson property, and basically envisioning a neighborhood. And they thought it was a great idea, so they're willing to work with us on it. So I thought that was a really nice development.
Have they been in touch with the owner of the property?
Yeah, well, Greg spoke to him,
Oh,
so he's willing and interested.
cool.
So that'll be in the spring, it's a spring semester thing. Dan's not here as usual, and neither is Keith. I'll say this about Keith. I spoke with him and he was willing to do the trenching for the water district electric. If we want to go that way. We've got bids for that. That's later on the agenda, but they're
Okay.
with and without the trenching included. Which next is the minutes of the preceding meeting on November 4th.
I move that we approve the minutes of November 4th.
I'll second that. Any discussion? First vote of the evening, Mariah?
Connors,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. They were nice minutes. Now the abstract.
I'll move the general fund abstract vouchers 421 to 448 for $29,549.96.
Second.
And maybe we talked about this before and I don't remember why. I think but it's in the highway one. The dental insurance for the town hall is in the highway abstract. I thought that was strange.
I mean, no, let's see, 581. 581 would be the dental for, I know. Huh. Here, 581.
I mean, the health insurance is for highways in the general fund.
Is the dental for highway usually a little more than town hall?
It would be because it's considerably more employees there.
Okay, I mean, I think that's just a typo, because the 581.70
It could be.
is in the general,
Okay. So,
and that says dental town hall.
yeah,
It's one hill and it's split
So-
between the two.
yeah,
I
but
think that's
is
just-
that just a typo?
I think it's I think I took it to be a mistake, yeah.
Okay. Laura's here, I see, she could answer that question. If she's listening. But she might not be.
Laura has joined us, yeah.
Are you actually there, Laura, or? On your computer?
You're getting a drink.
Yeah, right. Anyway, if
Oh,
you're,
that was-
if you're right, then we're good.
I mean, I thought the Gannett newspaper vouchers were a little strange, but.
Yeah, the legal notices,
Different
Hmm?
places.
the legal notices.
Well, the vouchers had listed all these, like 6 different,
Yeah,
7 different.
public
Thank
hearing
you.
notice.
I was having
6
problems.
and then 1 credit, and then that totaled up to a certain amount.
Mhm.
And then on the bill, it had 3 totals that added up to the same number, but there wasn't like any, oh, if these 2 were together, they had different dates on them and everything. So I don't know, I just thought it looked a little strange. Nobody else saw that?
No,
Okay.
I know there's a bunch
Might
of them.
want to take a good look.
Yeah,
Huh?
I know there was a bunch of them.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
didn't,
Yeah, there's 3 of them. Is that correct?
Well,
Three
there's
different ones.
6
On the,
there's 6 on
oh, wait.
the abstract,
No,
but there's only
wait,
3 on the bill,
there's
and
7.
they're different,
Um,
but they add up to the same amount. So
It's probably in the way that they build. And when Julia looked at it, she did the combinations where they needed to be combined or credits where they needed to be.
could be.
She
Yeah, that's why the
probably
dates
looked
are
them all up. If you guys want to approve it, I will go through and make a good double check. And
Okay.
if there is something wrong, we can address it at the next meeting, if you'd like
Yeah.
to.
I just thought it was strange. I mean, the totals,
It's strange, the
worked out
totals
the
come
same.
out
I
right,
know,
so
it's
it's like, right, it's probably
Okay.
okay because.
yeah.
So Laura, you could answer the question I had though, which was the abstract for the highway had the town hall line item.
Yeah,
Dental.
it's gotta be a typo. Yeah, because you can look on the general fund and it says town hall. And then we
Right.
look into the highway
The
and
amounts.
that should have been dental highway, not dental town hall.
Okay,
Right.
So we'll change that.
right. So with that, I think we're ready to vote on the general fund, right?
Do we have an agreement with Ehrlich for the pest control? Do we have a description of what they do?
Yes,
Okay.
we have a
I'd like to-
contract.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd like to
we
see
have
that
this
sometime.
contract
Bill
every,
said
sure,
nothing.
we'll bring it next time.
Oh, thanks.
It is a
We'll
lot of
we'll
money.
email it out to everybody so you can see it and,
Yeah. It's just that I thought it was strange that the bill didn't say what it was for.
Right,
It just-
yeah, well, yeah,
So, okay,
Pest Control
Anyway.
Act, yes,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Those places.
anyway, okay, so general.
You would think we had lots of pest board would try,
Yeah, right.
being returned.
Well.
I know,
you
the
don't
way it
stay
makes
on
it-
top of it, what do you do?
Yeah.
yes, you do.
Evidently most got through somehow.
All you want is a few rats.
So you ready?
Yep.
Okay, Raya,
Connors,
Yes,
Hanson,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yeah,
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
yes,
Thank you.
I move the highway fund vouchers 207 to 218 for $171,873.83.
I'll second that. Cost a lot of money to do the paving.
Sure
Yeah,
does.
doesn't it? Yep,
I hear West Jersey Hill's nice.
I can understand you.
So I heard West Jersey Hill looks nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, and it was just in time for the fire department
Yeah.
to go and get another
Oh,
fire,
The fight,
a car that,
yeah, car,
Car?
car on
right
fire.
on, right in the person, right across from Marnie.
Yeah,
I asked the fire guys at the pancake thing, and they said that there'd been something happened to the car and there was a gas leak, and I don't know what sparked it, but
Yeah.
Marnie was terrified.
you bet.
And I'm sure they were too. Yeah.
Any further, any more discussion on highway?
Should we have done the budget transfer before that? Before we approve this?
Is there? a budget needed?
Yes, we probably should have.
Yeah, okay, so let's put that on hold. And,
The only one we have is for the general fund,
Yeah.
and that was for, we had to buy a bunch of signs, a lot more signs than what we had to get signs up.
Sure, we should have done it before we did general.
I know, I wasn't thinking either, 'cause of course I
that's
had,
going from general, yeah, to highway. Okay,
Well, is it general to highway? Yeah.
well, the garage
It's from
contractual
garage
to traffic control, which is
Which is,
DA.
it's DA both ways.
no,
Oh, no,
It's
because the
A.
signs come out of general.
A.
Yes, I forgot.
yes, yes.
So it doesn't matter. Anyway,
Are you moving it down?
let's just go,
or should
I
we-
move,
It's because
that we approve the transfer, of funds between garage contractual to traffic control for $4,192.
Can we do that? The reason I'm asking,
I put it on hold.
well, yeah, but I mean, can we move things from highway to general?
yes.
They're all in general, Joel. It's all in general.
Okay. so we're moving-
Garage and signs are all in the general.
oh,
Traffic control.
Okay, so then we're moving it
They're both-
within general, then within.
Yes,
general
they're
fund,
both
one-
A fund account numbers. Yes.
Okay, all right, so then, so I'll second that. Any discussion? Beyond what we've already had? All right, Mariah,
Connors,
Yes.
Hanson,
Aye.
Hunter,
Yep,
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
yes,
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go back to the highway.
not, well, let's see. Yeah, because you actually should have withdrawn the motion so we could consider the other one, so now you can make it again. And second reading.
What's that?
he's saying we should have withdrawn that, we should withdraw and then.
Yeah,
take
you
it
can't,
again.
you can't have a motion while there's one on the floor, so technically, we withdrew the motion in order to consider the other one.
Yeah, I don't think I said withdraw. I think I said on hold.
Yeah, but you can't, that's not,
Yeah,
legal.
well, whatever.
Yeah.
So we can do it again.
Yeah.
I move the highway fund vouchers 207 to 218 for $177,873.83.
Second. Any discussion? All right,
Connors,
Yep.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes,
Woodworth,
Yes,
Canyon.
yes,
Thank you,
all right, on to business.
Guys.
The first of which, authorized electrical contract for water district office. This is before us because it exceeds $1,000. It's a public works thing. But needs board approval. So we got several bids to run the electric from the pump house to the new office building. And we've got them two ways. With the trenching provided and with the Keith doing the trenching. So it's about $3,000 with Keith doing the trenching, which however
It's
requires
about what?
$3,000. One's for $3,000, one's for $3,100.
For doing trenching?
No, well,
whole thing.
without, not including the trenching.
the electric.
Right.
If Keith does the trenching, it's $3,000 plus one way or $3,100, depending whether it's Hurd or Brian Mort.
Right.
If the trenching is included, I think we only have one quote that
Right.
includes the
We
trenching,
only
yes,
have-
and that was
Heard.
Hurd, and that's for basically another, what, $1,000 or so more. I forget.
$950.
Yeah, more. So, the question is,
How much is it gonna cost us to have highway do?
Keith's doing it for,
Well, how much is that gonna cost?
it's not gonna,
He himself,
he's not gonna charge us for doing
is
it.
that what it
Oh,
is?
he's as a person,
Yeah, as a favor to us, yeah.
not highway. Keith.
he's doing it, yeah.
He brought his thing over, his
Oh,
lift,
okay.
and helped us with the monument too, as a.
Yeah. He's just a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But, the trouble is, well, I mean, he's willing to do it in this interregnum between summer work and having to put the plows on the trucks, and doing the winter maintenance. Cause, and it could shift any time now. We might get a snowstorm and then it'd be, hard to do. So there's that, so you have to get done fairly promptly if Keith's going to do the trenching. On the other hand, if Hurd does it, then we need he needs to coordinate with the electrician so that they put the conduit in the trench and backfill the trench and everything. So I don't know, Ben, whether you have any sense or Steve, what the availability is of Brian or was it Bill? Hurd?
So. An update to what you just said, Joel. I got a call from Keith yesterday afternoon saying that it only made sense while he had the ditch open that he put the pipe in.
Mm-hmm. That the electrician, you mean?
No, Keith.
Keith, yeah.
And then charge the water district or the ARPA or whatever for the purchase of the pipe.
Uh-huh.
And that makes sense. Dig the ditch, put the pipe in, backfill it, the whole job's done in like 5 hours.
Yeah,
And then the electrician, whichever you choose, would just come and finish the piping up the side of the building at the pump house and up the side of the building at the office
yeah, but what about
and pull the wire.
pulling wire though? Is it-
Keith would put in a pull string or a pull rope
Mhm.
as well.
Uh-huh.
So all the bids we have include
Right,
the piping,
right.
Yes,
conduit.
yeah. So he probably, I mean,
So that it's not unusual in the construction world to run into things like this where things get negotiated, contracts get agreed upon and then things get negotiated out.
Mhm.
So my proposal would be that whatever bid you folks decide to accept, we then call that contractor and say, here's the deal. The ditch is dug, the pipe is in with pull boxes, with a pull string, so everything should be very easy for you to pull the wire. You know, we've accepted your bid. Are you still willing to do it? And then give us a credit back for not having to buy the pipe, because we've already bought it. It's either that or we have to rebid the whole thing all over again. I know. And
So how much is
these
it gonna
contractors
be?
are gonna say, you know what, I'm done playing this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I don't wanna bid, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was thinking that, you know, given the, although Keith wanted to be involved with the road crossing anyway.
right, which would have, and even if he were to do the whole ditch and then the bidders were to put in the pipe, then Keith has to remobilize to come back,
Yeah,
bury the pipe. So there's major amounts of coordination between the two of them.
exactly.
And with looking at a possibility of a snowstorm this weekend,
Sure.
if he has the time to do it and can get it done this week,
Yeah.
we'll be that much farther ahead. And
Which contractor, which
We get
quote are you recommending?
well, there's obviously two that are very low and close to each other, and two that are very high and
No,
close to each
We're
other.
ignoring those, the two that are low, close to each other.
Of the lower quotes of Herd Energy, I have worked with on multiple jobs. He does very good work. I would have him work in my own home. As far as Mr. Lamort's quote, seems to be very reasonable. I've never worked with him at all other than his private project at his home.
I've had him do my work in my house. He did the heat pumps. So,
Yeah. Right.
So we both of them, but they're known to us, in other words, neither one of these is gonna be bad.
Right, they're both good.
And I remember an electrician I was talking to about a really long trenching. And if you can get it all done in one day before it rains, it doesn't have to be snow or anything, but if it rains, if you dig a trench and don't have anything in, then it's terrible for the piping and the
You're
electrician.
gonna end up full of
Terrible.
water.
Yeah,
So, you know, obviously, I cannot speak for the water department. That's why Mr. Coker is here tonight, if you would like his opinion as well. I just came to support him and the water board. And thought it was a good time to let you know about the change in the piping aspect. So,
Yeah.
if you want to hear from Ben, he's here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that I have a ton to add at this point. I don't have any personal experience with any of the contractors, and the water committee as a whole hasn't seen all the quotes or voted on them. I guess what I would say is that I don't have any reason to recommend that you not accept the lowest bid. And
yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that.
What was the lowest bid? I don't.
It's $3,000.
I know, what.
Who we mean?
her, yeah.
Yeah,
is-
sure.
is
Yeah, that sounds
$100
good to
lower.
me, and if it got experience with them, then it makes sense to me too.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to say, no, we should go in a different direction, so.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of would be if we wanted to say, you know, go with whichever one is willing to accommodate the Keith installing the conduit.
If the town board is willing to leave that to our discretion, if we need to go back and talk to both of them again.
Yeah.
I would say
And
just
then
go back and talk
proceed.
to one in the lower bid. If they accept it, then that's fine.
Yeah, that's,
Right.
There's no
But if they
sense in
don't-
wasting time.
If they
If
don't,
then
allow
the
them to go
backup is.
ahead and go to the other one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I would
Right.
I
propose,
don't want them to
basically.
have to come back.
yeah,
after that.
if we
Yep.
can do it that way, that seems
Yep.
like giving us
Yep.
the most flexibility to get this done as
Flexibility to
quickly as
get it
possible.
done, exactly. And that's the other consideration, is how soon can they get to it, but.
I move that we approve the bid from, who the hell was it?
Heard was the word.
Thank you,
Heard.
Heard. And if they're willing to accept the modifications for the piping, and if not, then we go with the, who the hell was that?
Lamar.
Brian
Lamar,
Morse,
thank you.
Lamar Electric.
I second it.
Sounds good to me. Any discussion? Beyond what we've already had? Okay, Mariah,
Connors,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gagnon.
Yes,
Thank you.
thanks for coming.
You got it.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, Steve's been doing a lot of support.
Huh?
Steve's been providing quite a lot of
I
support.
think so.
Okay, so we skipped 9.2 because it wasn't timely. All right. Last time we had 3 or 4 quotes for the phones.
3.
And there was a question of whether or not, what weather town is doing. And Mariah said she would call around. Cast a little bit of light on the subject before we decided who to go with.
Well,
And how did that go?
yeah, so. Well, I got a hold of Enfield and they use a local phone system called Hayfully.
Oh, Hafley.
Half- Hayfully, right? That
Hafley
Hayfully does
phones.
not service Ithaca. Newfield uses Cisco. We could get a quick quote from Cisco. I believe they're going to be more expensive. The town of Ithaca uses Vonage. We got a quote from Vonage.
Yeah.
I've also put out on the town clerk's group, and I got a couple answers there. One town just has Verizon cell phones, and another provider is called Vaspian. I looked up Vaspian, and they seem. I haven't done any research on them, so I can't give you any more information. But those are the towns that I got a hold of today.
Were any of those ones that had Mitel and have to find somebody else?
I did not talk to anybody else who had Mitel.
When does this have to be decided?
By the end of the year. Otherwise, we
Within-
automatically continue with who is it that picks it up?
Ring
with our-
Central.
Ring Central.
Ring Central, right. Which we're not keen to do because then
Right.
don't have a great customer service record.
Oh, neither is my job.
Well,
Right.
well, they were fine while they were locally owned.
Well,
And they were at the time we
did
signed
you,
up with
did
them.
you say that we have a year?
No, the end of the year.
The end of
End of
this
the
year.
Yeah.
We don't do this, soon, we
Month.
don't have, we are. in trouble.
I don't have a good sense with the figures, like what, there's an initial on one, not an, I feel like they're not comparable, right? The way
Mhm.
it is right now. And I meant to look up the different companies and I didn't. But,
Who's highway going with?
well,
Well, they're-
wherever we go. with
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
with Ring Central or with Mitel. Ring Central, it's the same system.
They are.
Yeah,
Town does everything the same.
all our phones are with
Still listed in
it. So,
Mitel and with the cell phone, which is what Verizon.
I think we have to be careful about the same thing that Steve was talking about with the other contractors.
Mhm.
Pretty soon they're gonna say, we're not doing this. And that is what happens. So,
But we haven't gone back and forth with them, we just haven't said yes or no.
I mean, I've got, and it's hard to do
compare.
unless you've got a sort of a bid price, where you've got, this is what we want,
Mhm.
how much is it gonna cost? And then you have them fill in the lines, whereas, on 13 phones on 2 of them, I don't see any number. Well, there's that, okay, there is 13 phones on that, but I just don't feel like I can compare
Mhm.
them on this. So, I don't know if
it's not just about comparing them for price, because one of
No,
the things
that's
we need to know is how
Exactly.
the service.
Yeah.
That's
And
exactly right.
That too, yeah.
we already have a relationship, with TCNS.
TCNS, yeah.
And, I think that we get ourselves to the point where everybody's too busy at the end of the year, and
We don't want
Sorry.
to punt, you know.
I don't know how much when phones have to be ordered from these different companies, whether, I mean, a lot of companies, whether they have, a whole bank of phones sitting around in the back room, or they have to be ordered and then they have to be set up, and we have like
Yeah, not a lot of
less,
time.
we have 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You were already late on this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Getting to be last minute here.
We have a problem with our current phone people?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
basically told us they're not gonna do it anymore,
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have to do this.
Yeah, we have no choice.
We have to do it.
which is annoying, because we just went with Mitel 2 years ago, and now they're saying, oh, well, we're not gonna do anymore.
So
I mean, it looks like there's an initial setup cost and then an annual cost.
Right,
Mhm.
with anybody.
So, well, annual.
The annual cost is just the monthly cost times 12.
Right.
Right.
So TCNS and Ring Central are very, very close.
Yeah,
So, and they're both a little, quite a bit less expensive than Vonage. And
Right.
so if you're considering TCNS versus Ring Central, I think it's all about customer service.
And we have good rapport and good service from TCNS.
I mean, I would suggest that we go with TCNS. I mean, that's my,
is that a motion?
yes, it's a
I
motion.
second it.
All right.
I
Okay.
agree.
All right, so we have a motion. Any more discussion? Any more to say?
I mean, I'm just one person. Yeah, I just don't feel like I have enough information. I mean, TCNS was brand, Danby was their, almost their first town
Municipal.
business.
Yeah.
I mean, how long have they been in the phone business?
Well,
Or is it another new?
we asked them that question, right, Mariah?
Yeah, since 2019. They would not tell me the number of phone, of companies for whom they provide phone service. They did offer to address the board on that issue if the board had questions. They just thought it wasn't, they didn't want to say how many customers they had.
It's a little strange, but
We have.
You can only assume it's probably because it's a low number. But I don't know. I don't know if it's 10 or 50 or I have no idea.
but they've been doing it for 5 years. Even if
Yes.
you have even if you have 5 customers, if you're doing it well for 5 years, that's,
So then it comes down to.
I mean,
the
it'd
fact
be
that
one way to get
we have a
them.
great track record.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Mhm.
What did you say, Paul?
Just that we have a good track record with them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we do.
Why would you hire? I mean.
Well, because it's
employees, right?
phones,
Why
you know,
would Fire someone.
Yeah.
Certainly, if you have a good track record, you don't fire those people.
We're not firing
It's
you.
not firing them, it's adding
No.
a new service,
is a
an
new
additional service on top of what they're
Yeah.
already doing, and a different service.
Yeah, it's a different.
Yeah,
The
so I mean,
phone's a
they're-
different service.
it's not their primary focus or expertise, which is the IT stuff,
However,
but they do phones as well.
they did have to do the programming to help us when they came in. They had to help us isn't that right, Mariah? When they first came in, they had to help us program the phones to set up when we moved away from the 365, and I think from
Zoho.
Zoho.
Correct.
There was some time that they did set up for the phones to connect with the IT system, and that's all I can say. 'Cause I remember the details.
That might have happened before I was here. maybe a year and a half ago when they,
No, so I don't think so. So I'm probably not remembering correctly. Did they help you with your
Maybe,
phone,
maybe.
Steve? Yeah, yeah.
Do we know anybody who's using TCNS with the phone service?
Probably not, because
no, I
Nope.
asked for a reference and they said that they would reach out to their customers and see if they could find someone to give us a reference.
Oh,
I have not heard back.
Okay. I would say if we're not gonna vote on it, we cannot wait longer than the next meeting, but
yeah, we need to decide what we need to know and how we're gonna get that information.
well, if we don't get it,
Mhm.
we're down to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
and
right.
including holidays.
Mm-hmm,
Less than 4 weeks.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
right, right. It'll be in December at that point.
We have a motion on the floor. We should vote on it.
That's right.
Let
I
it
feel
go.
like we should
I
have
don't-
a
you know,
referral
we-
or
Did
reference.
somebody, did I make the motion or did?
I
No, Catherine.
And I-
Catherine made it, you seconded
Yeah.
it.
Right, but are you saying that it's,
I still have the motion and I'm still sticking with it.
I'm gonna go along with Catherine, I think it's just.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling
Silly
like
for longest.
we are making a bit of a leap in, I feel a little bit under-informed, but it's probably gonna work out fine, because I mean, I have great confidence in TCNS's ability to do it for us.
Right, well, the other thing is that if they screw up, then we have reason to, readdress this. And say, look,
Well, yeah, but
It's a lot to screw up. I mean, it's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money, yeah,
oh,
exactly.
you mean they get paid up front?
Well, the
there's a
setup is gonna
setup.
be a one-time deal, so you could pay them do the setup, and then if you decide to switch to somebody else, that money's gone, The only thing you're gonna be saving is the annual cost of, the monthly charge for providing the service once it's set up. So it's a commitment to go with them, we did the same thing with Mitel, we thought we were setting ourselves up and we're gonna stay with them, but then the company changed hands and
That seems highly unlikely with TCNS.
it does seem unlikely. It seems like they're going to be around for a while, even if we, the county did something else for IT and we ended up going there in a couple of years when we run off the end of our TCNS contract, they could still provide the phones.
For how long is the contract for, a year?
The phone or the IT?
Oh, well, they set it all up, right?
It's,
So, yeah.
It's an ongoing thing. Is a contract with a term, Mariah, or it's just, as long as you keep it?
I wrote 2 to 3 year contracts.
I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me.
I wrote down from the last meeting, 2 to 3 year.
2 to 3 years?
for the phone.
Right, because they gave us a 3-year,
Price.
yeah, they gave us 3 years.
So
Oh.
have they dealt with our questions before? I mean, like, and a response after the fact that they were very positive and did the right thing by us, and is that true?
On IT questions, yes.
Yes.
On phones, it was not relevant because wasn't their bailiwick.
But we have had, there've been meetings when we were working with TCNS on the IT, when I've been on the phone in the meeting, and they did discuss these phones way before we needed to change. And the discussion included displeasure with Mitel and Ring Central for what their business practices are. And that came directly in a meeting from Drew about phone systems. And that was before we were ever in this situation. It was just bad press about Mitel and their service, and bad press about Ring Central, and bad press about doing this. And Drew, again, you can say, I don't believe him or whatever you want to say, but he said this is not the way they do business. And they're in the business to have customers that want to stay with them.
And I remember Drew, right?
Yeah,
He was here,
Yes.
he's very persuasive.
right?
Well, maybe that's what Leslie's objecting to. I mean, it could be, but
I'm not necessarily, I don't feel suspicious about the company or Drew. But I think we have no idea, we have no reference. you'd think that if they were interested in having us add on the phones to the IT stuff, that they would, oh, reference, you want a reference? Oh, sure, here's, 1 town that we deal with, but,
Nobody does that until I ask the people if it's okay to do that.
what?
Well, they
Nobody does
should,
that. Companies have to ask before they give somebody as a
Yeah,
reference.
My,
you call somebody on the phone.
what, the same thing that they said at the time was this is not their main business. This is a service that they offer to customers because of the problems with the phone companies
Mhm.
going in and out of business.
Yeah.
That is what they told us in one of the meetings, in, or some of the monthly meetings that I was involved with Drew, that it's not because they want to go in this phone business, it's because they want their customers to have phones.
filling a need.
That, right, they're filling a need. That was way back. That was, as I said, before we got into the situation where Mitel was dumping us,
Yeah. And, my impression is that, they're very, very, they price their things very,
Right, they're not making money on
They
it.
make, well, they are making money. They make it worth their while to do it.
Well,
but-
okay, I shouldn't have, I'm sorry,
But-
I know,
But
I think that.
we have,
need to
but
get
their,
worse, frankly.
their bid, if you will, or quote, is comparable to,
Right.
to the other that we have, because we only have one other quote really that, to compare it to. That's what I'm a little uncomfortable about, but if you're okay with going with it,
Well, our track record so far with them has been.
what's that? Yeah. So I mean, they're a good prospect, I think, as far as being able to provide the service well. And if we're okay with the price, then there's no reason not to go with them, really.
Well, there is a motion on.
Yeah, there is. I think you're ready to vote for it?
Yeah.
Vote for it? Okay, Mariah,
Henners,
No,
Hanson,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes,
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
yes.
Thank you.
So we're going with GCNS. So, who's carrying the ball on that? You're gonna contact them, Mariah?
Yes.
Okay. Procurement policy edition. Besides the language that was recommended to us by Toma, which has been incorporated into the draft, Leslie had a couple pretty minor things that somehow didn't get in the previous version and were formatting errors and got fixed. So all the stuff that's in red in the proposal is to be added.
right.
If we, so I move that we amend our procurement policy to add all the red stuff.
I'm happy to second it since I was one of the questioners last time.
Laura, did you get a chance to look at it?
No, I did not, you guys. I have not looked at it. You don't have it, Mariah, that we can put up where the change is?
You want to screen share it?
Yeah, there's a section
I'm
about.
just
mean,
wondering if
there's
that's
only-
possible.
Yeah, there was only
Sorry.
one thing I was wondering.
Not a whole lot.
There's a whole section.
That's what I
about-
thought. I thought it was just a small thing.
just-
I was thinking of it today.
It's one sentence, yeah.
Right. Well, the one thing and I was surprised it wasn't in the previous one,
Right, I don't think it
But-
was.
Nope, it was left out.
was it giving the highway superintendent up to, was it $4,000?
Yeah.
As an exception to the rules.
Each, yes, but not just once, it looks like.
Yeah. I thought we had that in there, but
At any given time, yeah.
I think we made a major change and somehow didn't get it added to the. But anyway, it would add it now.
So what was the major change?
You ready?
The major change was adding this language from Thomas suggested that would address the.
Yes, she is. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, but I wanted her to see the highway, the exception for the highway, which
Yeah.
is up farther.
Yeah,
Um,
scroll up.
It's right under
It was
Okay.
something, it was
Highways
something that we,
are
Can you make it bigger? Or
Mhm.
that's better, way better.
Any given time without pro the town board.
Mhm.
Tools, equipment, small implements, tires and tubes, in the amount not to exceed 4,000 at any given time without prior approval of the town board.
Which that was something we approved in resolution 58,
yeah.
but it didn't make it,
What
it
was-
didn't make, didn't make it into
2023.
didn't make it into the policy.
Oh, it didn't make it, and we had decided on 4,000 at the time?
It was changed in 2023 and it never got put onto the document.
Okay,
And the change is just to increase the amount. The language is exactly the same,
A little
Yeah.
different.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little different. That's why I
not
wanted
to
to.
exceed 4,000. I
Yeah.
think that that's enough. I do think sometimes our tires,
Yeah,
when they
Get
do a
there.
tire purchase, is more than 4,000, but you know what? That's something good to come to the board and discuss anyway, just to let you know about some of the large expenses that we do have. So I would say 4,000 is good. Without prior approval of the town board, I think that that's good. From what I'm reading.
So that's that. That was a significant one. I mean, she changed 4,000 to 4,001 and up above there.
and the three.
Three. And then the main change is that the whole block of text that is there to address the women and minority-owned business enterprise being included in affirmatively in our efforts when we're looking to hire somebody to do anything.
I would like to move,
Didn't we already do
We
it?
already have. a
somebody already did that?
Yeah, I
motion.
did.
Have a motion and a
It's
second.
been moved and
The
seconded.
motion was to amend the policy by adding all the red language.
What?
Joel made.
Joel did, and
Ah.
no, well, I don't
Huh.
know. I did some of it.
Somebody
I
seconded it.
never- okay.
So,
So,
any other discussion?
right, exactly. Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Connors,
Yes,
Hanson, Hunt,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gagnon,
Yes.
thank you.
welcome. What resolution is that, Mariah? Do you know?
261. Although, I've been wrong before.
Well, you certainly come up with it in the minutes, whatever one it is.
Right.
All right, ARPA commitment update. The most interesting and relevant addition is that Laura was successful in her contacting Sunvestment about the possibility of doing the bike. And you want to report
Sure.
that, Laura?
Gave them a call at Sunvestment. I had kind of left a message through Lois, who we work with, and Sally Wetzel. And so there was a gentleman that called me back, and after they'd done some research, it took them a little bit of time because they were like, oh, they're going to use ARPA funds for this. What does that mean? So they took their time, they did that research, took a look at it. They commended us for deciding to use our ARPA money for this because they thought it was a perfect fit after they researched it. And they said they can make it happen. So the first thing that we need to do is we can do this part of the contract. I'm gonna look at that webinar again about exactly what we need to show that this is obligated, so that we have some samples of some verbiage, etc. We can put together something that ARPA's looking for, okay? And when we put that together, they will put that through their system, get it signed, so that we have a document in hand that says before December 31st, that we had given notice that this is what we're gonna do. It'll be like an MOU and part of a whatever it is else that ARP is looking for. So we can prepare that. We can get it to them. So we have documentation when we report. We're an annual reporting town. So we don't have to report this until April, but we do need to have it in place by December 31st. So when I report it in April, we'll just send it right along, and that will show, along with any other documentation that we have of other things that we've got to fetch, so to speak, for them to show them that we've got all this committed. So in other words, they will do that. Now there's another part of it too. They have us down that we started in September. Oh boy, I can't remember which year now. What year it was. Anyway, 10 years, according to them and their documents, is not until September of 2017. Okay, so we have to spend these ARPA funds by 2016. They said at that time, they will give us a contract. They'll give us a contract where we're able to go ahead and do the buyout in December of 2016, which is
26.
well, I'm sorry. I got the teens in my mind. I was going back looking at a few things today. I got the teens. 2026. Thank you, you guys, for not letting me go on with that. 2026. So in 2027 is when it will be up. So they'll give the contract. We can go ahead and do the buyout, and then we'll have a contract that we're still going to be needing to pay Sunvestment expenses up through September of 2027, which is fine, because if that's when we started it and we look back on the dates, we can still do the buyout, still meet all the ARPA recommendations, all of the requirements. We just have to continue to pay them just up to September of that next year. And they can make
Just
that
to
happen.
say, we'll own it and they'll get the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
That's
can
what
buy
they
it,
say
pay them up
month.
through
Yeah.
September, but they said it's a go. They'll do all they can do to help us to make sure that we meet all these deadlines, to make sure that we can secure that money. So once they do something and do another contract in 2026 for us, we'll bring it to Guy, have him look it over, make sure everything's looking right. And we may not even need to. This is kind of a straightforward deal here, really.
Yeah. Comments, Jim?
But when we get the this contract done for ARPA for now, we'll email it out to all of you so you can take a look at it and see what it is that ARPA required from us to commit. And that's the news on that, which I thought was really good. It kind of made our day when we heard it.
I think it's a great use of the money. And I've been in touch with someone who we've talked about before of Day to Day, and he's going to come out at some point in December and take a look at the system. He'll give us basically a time and materials cost to go out, look at the system, give an assessment, and he'll develop a maintenance contract for us, which will be nowhere near, I think, what the other ones we've been quoted on. So I think that'd be great. He's going to let me know what they can do as far as a monitoring system as well. Depends on what's there.
That's one thing that the man that I talked to, and I don't have his name in front of me, sorry, said that it was really important to have some type of a maintenance contract with someone because of the type of monitoring that they do on a day-to-day basis with the system. He was talking about all kinds of things that he's seen in the past, whether it be rodents chewing wires, whether it be part of an electric storm that affected it in some way that we don't know about. And unless it's monitored every day, we're not going to know that if we're losing whatever we're losing in our production. So, you know, apparently they also do things like they even have drones that go over their systems. He wasn't trying to sell me anything either. He said, you know, we have monitored you guys all these years. We even have drones going over the system, looking for hot spots, looking for anything that could be lowering your production. So he just emphasized that. I don't know a lot about it. I'm just passing that along. But that day-to-day monitoring seemed to be important to him to mention to us, just as a word of caution.
So here's the downside of what we're doing. Currently with Sunvestment owning the system, they're also paying for the monitoring and maintenance of the system, and then they're charging us the electricity that's produced. The deal that's being offered to us is that they'll continue to charge us for the electricity produced, but now we own it and we have to maintain it and monitor it.
For a short while based on their contract. And the reason we're doing that is so we can use the ARPA money. If they
Yes,
didn't have
right.
the ARPA money, that wouldn't exist.
I understand. I'm just saying the downside is, okay, there's not like it's not completely,
I heard that also.
Yeah.
I got it.
This is what sounds like what we had discussed before, the balance out, we're still a bit better off.
I mean, it'd be nice if they would just sign off.
Yeah, it would be, but we got a
You know,
year.
so we own it, we get the revenue, and that would be ideal, instead of just saying, you know, at the end of the contract, they basically want to have the revenue last until the contract runs out, even if they sell it to us sooner.
There was a 5-year contract. We could have bought them out at 5 years.
No, I think it
Not
was
this
10
one,
years. It was
it started at 10,
10, 20 and 30.
Oh, I thought it was 5.
No, 10, 20 and 30.
wasn't it?
Or maybe
Yeah,
10
I think it's,
years.
yeah, I think you're right, 10, 20, and you had an option for another 5 years after that. But at any rate, the benefit here that we get to use the ARPA money to buy the system, you know, we're buying it early.
But Jim, that's good. You have somebody that's gonna come out and give
Yeah,
take a look at it, let us know what they can do. And we'll see how much that's gonna be.
yep, he'll look at it. He'll just charge the first time for that. The maintenance contract will be a fee. He'll come out, you know, he'll do some preventative maintenance each year. He'll make if there's any required, he'll go out and check. And you know, it'll be time and materials for any things he has to replace or fix or whatever.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, once we own it and since the revenue remains theirs and not ours, you know, any failure in terms of the maintenance and monitoring is going to cost them, not us. That's a reason not to go overboard with, you know, it's in their interest to make sure that we maintain and monitoring it as well as they have been, so that we don't reduce their revenue.
Or just up till September,
Right.
Yeah,
just up till September. For that 9-month period.
2027.
It's 9 months because we buy it into 2026. So we're talking about 9 months of 2027.
9 months of 2027, 9 months
Yes.
beyond what we thought the date was gonna be. But
Right,
that's our contract is for them to have that revenue.
that's correct. Oh, that's correct. Yeah. So anyway, so that's that. We have, well, Laura put in the chart last time, an allocation of $5,000 of the ARPA money toward the water district's office project, beyond what we already spent for the building. And I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page as far as seeing that that's an upper limit to what we're willing to pay for additional expenses. Because there's the electric, and there's also the materials for the, you know, the interior work, you know, paneling and the light fixtures, electrical components and so forth, which is significant additional expenses, but I'd say, I'd like to make it clear that the $5,000 is an upper limit of what, it's not a blank check we're writing, in other words. Or whatever it costs to make this office building complete.
Well, if the electrical connection's gonna take 3 of it, or is that
Yeah,
separate? Well,
Yeah.
then we only have 2,000, that might not be enough.
well, that's the question I'm asking. Do we want to give them basically are saying we're willing to commit ARPA funds, whatever it takes to get the office building done.
That would
Well,
eliminate fire hydrant money, which is also the West Danby water district issue.
this is true, although well, we were planning on the fire hydrants to use some of the $45,000 we're gonna have by buying the
Investment.
investment, yeah, the array towards that, so we wouldn't be in a rush to get it done by the end of the year.
There is 9,881 set aside to use some of that money, some of it, of the ARPA money for the hydrants. Maybe that cover a third of the cost or something.
It's not gonna cover all of it, because, you know, it looks like it's gonna be like,
Don't you have to have a distinct amount set aside, period, out of the ARPA money for this? Not a range, it's just this is how much we're putting into that from the ARPA money.
well, I mean, what we've got is how much money we have to, how much ARPA money we have to use altogether.
Right.
We use more for one thing than for another, then it's, you know, it's gonna be less for whatever remains. So, you know,
We have
once
to
we.
put the exact amount we're gonna be giving for each project by the end of the year, an
Yes,
exact
good.
amount.
And
Yeah.
have to, and a
Not-
contract for that.
Maybe
amount.
we'll end up with some of it going to this person, and maybe we'll have to end up here. This is it.
And we
This is
don't
it.
want to have it too high because they will lose the money if they don't spend that much money.
Correct.
So you certainly want it lower than what you expect. So 5,000 sounds, certainly seems reasonable.
It can be reallocated if you do commit it in one area and you
Yeah,
go and you go over in another area and under in one project and over in another. When you do that, also, it does give you an allowance in there to shift that, transfer it between the projects.
Wait, when you say it, you mean ARPA? Gives
The
us
ARPA
that?
money, yes. Let's say we had something in here, building for the water administration, the extra, and it only came up to be, well, that's not something, let's look at something we'd need a contract for. Let's say we had a contract. We committed to spend on the security system for the highway. They gave us a contract for 11.2. Well, they got going on it and they realized it only cost $10,000. And we had 1,200 left. We could turn around and we could move that 1,200 that we had reported committed into the fire hydrants, which are gonna go over 9,881.
According to the rules of ARPA.
Yeah, I mean, these are
Yes.
all eligible things. These
Yes,
are all
I
eligible things.
watch webinars on this. I watch webinars on this, listening to them give us the information from the state at what we can do.
But it's
And
not
how-
distinct, we move money around a little bit.
Within the categories that are already approved.
Within the categories that you can't come up with new ones, but the categories you've already put in there. Which then gives me another question. This 9,800 that we've got in here that we're thinking we're gonna spend on fire hydrants. Are we gonna be able to have some type of a contract or resolution of what's really gonna happen here by December 31st? So we have that to show that we have committed that by December 31st, because you just can't say, well, this is what we're gonna use it for. You have to have
No, that's right. We need
something
something.
concrete. Can we get something concrete on them? And if you don't think so, maybe we better think about putting it someplace else or.
Right. So at this point, how much money have we got left to play with, so to speak, that's not already spent or
None.
contracted to be
Zero.
spent?
We got this to
No,
come out
no.
exactly to the 343,520.
No.
But that's
no,
assuming that the bottom.
$14,881.33.
What?
The total.
$15,881.33 left.
Where are you finding that? Are you just?
Wait a minute.
The building that's the amount of money for those three categories. We really, all the others have been approved on top. The ones
Right.
below, there's only 5. We're taking solar purchase out of there. What's left?
Right,
5,000,
exactly.
1,981 833. So that added up comes to $15,881.33.
It's exactly the number I'm looking for.
What did we take out?
What are we taking out? Are you saying, Pat?
What I'm saying is, we've already approved some things. We're assuming I'm leaving the water solar array, and the leftover after that is $15,881.33 in 3 categories. And now it's looked as 3 categories: the building for the water, the door opener, and the fire hydrants. Comes to $15,881.33.
Yeah. Now
Yes, those are the 3 right there that we decided to add on to this to make up the total of the 343. Yes, so it's
Now, I
those
think-
3 that we've
Right.
got to get some type of
Contract.
Right.
Contract.
either
we got-
contract or at the water building, if they go out and get their supplies, get it done in the month of December, buy the wire, buy whatever it is they need to buy, have the invoices, whatever.
That's quite realistic. I think we'll have that. We'll have materials bought and electric installed, no problem.
So for the 5,000.
Right,
Great.
the automatic door opener line is
Automated?
considerably, it's considerably under what's likely to be spent.
Maybe that 1,000 should just be moved up to the 5,000. Turn that into 6,000.
Well, I think that what I'm saying is it's gonna be more than $1,000. We've already got $1,300 spent on the 2 door openers that we haven't installed. And then the additional is gonna be on top of that for the automatic door opener and the main door.
How
So
much
you
is
had-
it?
that's
if
what
we're
I
to
was
go
hoping
purchase?
that you could now report so we can get the figure nailed in here. You might come closer to the mic.
About $4,000 for material and install for an opener. Roughly.
Oh, well, for the crash bars that we've
Oh,
already got.
crash bars. Yeah, I want to say then including the crash bars. Sorry, I'm doing math right now.
Before you do that,
Yeah.
we just need a contract with, on your letterhead,
Well, sure,
that
but
shows this is what the breakdown is. And it's.
But right now, we need to know how much money
How
we
much
have,
we
and
put
whether
in
we
it.
can afford it in the first place.
what I'm saying is that, it's a lot more than $1,000.
Oh, yeah,
So
Like,
maybe that 1,000. I mean,
substantially.
Yeah. Do we
Maybe
have?
it's the fire hydrants. We should,
Well, I'm thinking, we might be able to like not have to worry about the fire hydrants if we put in, if we had the other stuff.
He's thinking that it might be harder to get this contract for the fire hydrants because we have an idea that we can get it, but that's $7,000. We might not, so now we're trying to figure out what else would work.
Right.
Split it
Right now,
between
it's
the
talking
other.
about automatic door things and that how much the total figure comes so that we can plug that in for,
That's what I'm looking for.
I don't know how to, like I said, the discussion's gotta stop. We need a contract from you,
No, we have to decide first how much money we want to
but the thing
allocate.
is that if he says that he has a contract for $7,000, and we only have 6,000 from ARPA, that means that we will use 6,000 from ARPA towards him. The other 1,000 will have to come from somewhere else.
We have money. We have 45,000. We have set aside 45,000 for the
Of the
solar
ARPA
arrays.
money.
Solar arrays from our regular money, from the town money. We have that set aside already, not fixed for the solar arrays, but set aside for it. So money we don't use, the ARPA money, things that we could use for ARPA, but don't have contracts for, we can use that money. We're not talking about
that's not-
raising new
I know.
money.
This
That's
is
not
like,
what we're
you're
talking
just,
about.
it's just totally confusing.
yeah.
We're back to ARPA money, right?
Yeah,
ARPA, we're at the
Need
deadline
contracts.
here.
right.
You got like 6 weeks to
That's
get this
right.
together. ARPA has to have a series of contracts that are signed and sealed
Right,
that add up to the amount of ARPA money that we've
Right.
got.
exactly.
So that if you're talking about using ARPA money for what is gonna be done on the entryways, we need the contract.
Yes, that's
So we
correct.
have to pursue the contracts for each of these different.
Absolutely, that's not the point. and
That's
That's
not
not
the
the
point.
issue. The issue is how much is that contract going to be so we can add it,
That's
so
why,
we can,
he-
so we can see how
Why
much.
you need a contract?
that's why he said the
Yes.
exact, how about a contract?
But that's what, one of the things we need to look at is whether we can leave it like this, or we need to increase those and just take out the fire hydrants, and look at right now is the money put the other two.
Yeah,
So my
How
question
much
is
is the
whether,
door gonna
if we,
take the fire.
do we have enough,
Come on, go ahead.
do we have enough, commitments, to use up the ARPA money if we take the hydrants out, is my question. And that depends in part on how much the openers are gonna be.
And the building for the water administration.
Yeah, I mean.
Right.
We got $5,000 committed there, but it could be more
And which means we could put more in there if we knew more.
if we knew it was
And
gonna.
if we knew it was gonna be more. So we need
if
all
we
of
want
this
to.
by next meeting,
Yeah,
first
Can we
meeting.
find out
December.
how much it's gonna cost for the interior of that building? Forget about the 3,000 in the, cause 2,000 probably isn't gonna cut it.
Right.
It'll be really close.
Hmm?
I think it'll be really.
it'll be close.
Really?
5,000, so we've got
Walls and
5,000.
Insulation and.
Well, the installation's
No,
already there.
It's already there?
Yeah.
Okay, all
In
right.
fact, you took some of it out and fit the wall.
I'm sorry, I mean, it's just, you guys keep going around in a circle. You
No,
have a list of where you wanna spend these monies.
We
but you
do
need
have
the
it.
Contracts,
Yeah, yeah.
and you really need to pursue that,
Yeah.
to get that from Steve. I don't think Steve's gonna be doing it, but, you know, you gotta
Well,
get
Steve
that
is gonna be
contract, you
doing
gotta
it.
get his contract. If you get all those contracts together, it becomes a no-brainer. You know, then it's just a matter of doing the math.
Well,
of
then,
which things we're gonna pay.
well, that's what we're trying to
The
do.
only problem.
Without, in this next couple of weeks or so, having those contracts in hand, you gotta give it up.
Right, so the problem with, that sounds like all we're talking about is that we don't have a contract from him tonight, but we could have it 2 days from now or something like that. So do we need to say, if we can't get all these contracts, we need to have a little special meeting
no.
just before, or is it
We could.
December
The next
2nd?
meeting would
December
be-
2nd's okay.
But it would need
Yeah,
to be the next
Zach.
meeting.
Zach,
Why did you say-
what do you think the automatic door opener and the contract, and your labor and everything, the purchasing of the supplies, everything, about how much do you think that's gonna be?
The automatic opener is gonna be around $3,000 with the opener. Wait, that's wrong, 3,300. Opener, installation and inspections. And then the push bars, what was the total?
I think it was 1,300. I think, if I
It was
remember,
13 or 15, I can't remember.
I think I remember seeing it in the invoices that it's been 13.
5,000.
Do you remember, Mariah?
The cost for what has already been purchased is $1,300.
Yeah. yes.
Okay.
Okay, so.
So then probably 500
For the-
500 for the push bars?
per install.
So that's.
We're talking about $5,000 there.
Yes.
So we need to take 4,000 out of the fire hydrant and kick it up into the automatic door. That would be more realistic. That leaves
Yeah.
us that $5,881. The person that is there for the water building, approximately to finish this project up, wire, everything that you need. How much do you think that's gonna cost?
Pretty, I think Steve was saying it's pretty close to the $5,000 we got in that line. Right?
It's not very much.
Okay, so we still have to come up
volunteer.
with $5,800.
You could volunteer.
I'm sorry, but you guys keep speculating.
No, we're not.
Right, we're
You're
trying to,
making educated guesses about how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to account for all the money, Paul, just so.
right, so that we know whether or not we've gotta go in
Stop
another direction.
Accounting for what you think and get what it is. So if someone doesn't come up with those contracts within 2 weeks, that thing's off the table. Because you're running out of time here.
Right,
So
that's why I'm trying to nail it down.
contract.
That's what he said.
Oh, no, yes, exactly. But
So
what I was
that's where-
trying to, what I was trying to get at was, is it possible for us to, do we have enough commitments here to account for the money without including the hydrants at all? And it looks like not.
And I don't think that's relevant. We don't have to worry about it because we got 2 weeks to get the
So
details
why
and then
can't you,
we'll deal
like,
with
you
the
got a
details.
contract for the hydrants that is $4,000 and you only have $2,000 of ARPA money, then we send it off to ARPA as saying, we're gonna spend
Yeah, yeah.
2,000.
Yeah, But there's doubt in my mind, that's all, about whether we can get something that resembles a contract that will satisfy the need to have a commitment
For the hydrant,
for the hydrants.
right.
Because the town of Ithaca has told us they're willing to do it on a time and materials basis, but they're not willing to tell us how much it's gonna be.
Oh, then you can't use that. Then.
Yeah, then we.
That'd
If
be
we
off the
can't use it,
table.
then we have to find something else to do
Throw
it.
out the window.
Right, and then the question is, are we short if we don't include it?
We'll know next meeting.
Maybe we could get from the water district, like a detailed list of stuff,
That's
including the
enough, yeah.
3,000 for the. pipe-
I'm sure
it's
Keith
still
can
not
find
enough.
something to do with the next, with that 5,000 you're looking at.
The phones,
The phones.
we have to, we gotta do the phones,
Yeah,
We have to, we have the phones to do, right?
yep, and they have to be done
By the end of the year.
And you have a contract for it.
And
Yes.
we know how much the contract's going to be.
If you know how much the
Uh,
contract's gonna be for all the materials and everything, even just to buy the phones, how much are the phones gonna cost?
Well, we have a contract.
Good,
Yeah.
then whatever you got left over, you can throw into that.
How much
Yeah.
was that?
Mariah.
Mariah? With,
Geez, I'm-
PCNS?
Was it, here it is. Oops, that's not it.
37.
Was it about,
Well, that's annual.
No, the setup, how much was the setup?
Initial conference, year like 26, yeah,
2,700.
2,700.
2,700.
And then, right, so that's the part that's gonna be, well, maybe we could do the annual as part of the contract, right? Even though we're gonna be paying it out monthly after that.
Well,
right?
then you're, I mean, that's annuals,
Are we,
4,407.
Yeah, but
So we
that's,
can do a few months of it.
we've got all 20, we got to the end of 26.
So we can decide that next week when we know the other numbers.
no, the
2 weeks.
The question is whether or not we can put an annual, or whether we can only do the phone or the phone and the annual. We can do the phone and the annual covers, but we don't know that answer. You have to ask Laura.
I'm pretty sure we can.
I bet we
if-
can,
If
yeah.
it's part of a
I don't think
contract,
so.
Yeah.
yeah,
The two people sit here.
Because it's monthly,
yeah, we're paying.
It is
out
monthly.
We got to the end of 26 to pay it.
and
So-
it wouldn't be the whole year's worth anyway, because that's too much. We wouldn't be able to
So-
afford that.
So that would take care of some of our problems.
Does that get us past the need to include the hydrants altogether?
Mhm.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Yes,
Let's include the phones.
contracts and we run short, I'm gonna tell you, there's stuff in the highway
For sure.
that we'll come up with. We'll come up with the stuff that we have spent on this or that or some other things. So we will have this exact number when we're done. If everybody can get the contracts around, if in, say, the water department, go buy all the things that you need, get all the stuff that you need, get it in-house. We have invoices.
We have a contract with the electrician to run the wiring.
There you go.
And when we've got, so that, and a lot of the materials have already been purchased and the rest of them can be by the end of the year. So
Yes.
I think that's a pretty firm, we'll get at least $5,000 there.
Yeah.
And if that 5,000 plus the phone system will get us to what we need, then we can forget about having to include the hydrants.
Yes.
And when it comes right down to it, when we get to the bottom line on December 26th, day after Christmas, and we think, what are we gonna do? Well, I will tell you, there are things that we can do.
No, not doing that.
There are expenditures we have spent in the highway. If we're missing $500 or something off of this.
What is that other computer that needs to be purchased? Is that anywhere included?
That is not included
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
About
Julia's
$100.
computer.
for Julia.
So maybe
Yeah,
the
that
initial
computer is
one on
from,
the Computer.
Yeah.
it's
The
10,
initial-
it's
Although, I
8.
mean, I wonder whether we could use this computer, because it's not being, you don't need a computer to do
No,
that.
it has to be up to date software wise so that it.
Yeah, I mean, this computer's, forget what it, well, anyway, I'm just raising the question whether that computer couldn't be used for what Julia needs, because it doesn't need to be a
Highly
simple
unlikely.
computer.
Highly unlikely.
You think?
Highly
Highly
unlikely,
unlikely.
because.
She's gonna be using
that-
Williamson software, and Williamson updates their stuff, and it needs certain running, I don't know all the terminology when it comes to computers,
I mean, if
guys.
not,
It's
then
the
we need to buy
operating
new.
systems, it's
Correct.
gonna
Yeah.
need to be what it needs to be as this, everything start,
Yeah.
keep
But
all the.
besides, that's only $1,200, but that plus phones or
Yeah, I
things
think we
that
got
we
plenty
need
of
in
it,
here,
yeah.
plus what, if we needed one tire for a truck.
That's right, you guys,
Yeah,
you
right,
got it.
exactly.
gonna-
Exactly.
I would kick that right over into this. If you stop with the hydrants, we have money set aside, that ARPA, that, solar money set aside to help with those hydrants. And put that computer right in there. And, you've
we're
got
gonna
stuff,
need-
the extra for the automatic doors.
Yeah,
That's gonna take care of about 5,000 of all of it right there. More than 5,000. Out
The
of
other
that.
thing
I think
we
we're
don't
there.
need is the money that the town has to do for the crosswalk, but that won't happen this year.
no,
But if
that,
we've
yeah,
spent the
right.
this money that we can this year, then we will have the money for the pedestrian landings or whatever they're called.
Mhm.
Well, we could decide how we want to use the $45,000 that we got set aside. for
Well,
the-
we-
for-
And it's
for-
not
yeah.
like we're just scrambling for little things to not make
Right.
the most out of this ARPA situation. Look at some of those other big things that we've done so far. We're just coming down to the nitty gritty now.
Yeah,
Look at the
exactly. We just want to make sure we
wonderful things,
cover.
these big
Roller.
things. Not like just coming up with stuff to waste it or anything. We're just down to the last 10,000 here, figuring out where it's gonna go and what we've done.
Yeah, and I was just hoping that we didn't have to include, because of the difficulties of negotiation and uncertainty, the hydrants.
I know.
We're not.
It would be
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
but
Cross-
if
We're
we
done.
don't have to
We
do
don't.
that.
Cross that right off.
And it looks like we don't have to, so that would be good.
That's done.
Okay, so we are on track to get our commitments in place by the end of the year. Okay.
I'll work on that solar, okay? Getting
Right.
that commitment, what we need.
Okay,
And
good.
Water department's gonna work on theirs. Zach's gonna give us something on the automatic door openers, everything for that. We're on our way,
All the door openers, automatic and otherwise. Yeah.
whatever they are.
Okay, next step in implementing a crosswalk. I put next steps on you because, now we know it can happen. There's some things that we need to do. We need to get clarity regarding what those things are and how we go about making them happen.
Right, and we're gonna wait for the formal letter will come, a hard copy will be coming.
Mhm.
And that, she told me today that there were some other things that were in that we do not need to worry about. That's why we didn't include all those pages and pages of specifications.
Yeah, because it looked
But
like a
we
lot of them are
will-
relevant to our situation.
Right, some of it's not relevant, but we will need to pay for the head landings. And they will be paying for the signage. They will do the crosswalk marking.
Yeah,
We have to decide where the,
two ends are
cross,
gonna
where to
be,
go.
yeah.
Across the road.
Yeah.
That we need.
Raised cross,
Huh?
we should have a raised crosswalk.
That's good. Why not? I mean,
You mean a bridge?
No,
no, you know how they do the rate in the city, you raise the
No.
crosswalk and then you slow the traffic.
That's right,
Because
exactly.
It amounts to a speed bump if you do that.
Well, then the snow plows will
Yeah.
knock it off.
no.
Anyway, they're gonna send us what we need to know,
Cool.
and we don't have to do it tonight.
No, okay. I just want to make sure that we.
The only
Follow
only
up with
thing
you.
we do have to be concerned about is the grade, as you asked. Yes, we
Mhm.
have to worry about the grade
Yeah,
for where it crosses the road.
so more info to follow before we decide, basically.
What?
More info to follow
Yeah.
before we decide.
Yeah. And then we have the court.
Right. We have our annual letter from the court saying, you can audit us. It's our responsibility to do that. And I could have sworn we appointed a committee,
I thought so too.
but I
did.
couldn't find any
They couldn't
resolution
find it.
doing it. Do you remember who we thought we were appointed to a committee?
Well,
Yeah, it was Pat and Catherine, but
Couldn't find it.
Mariah couldn't find it.
She couldn't find it. I couldn't
just
find it.
so
In the minutes?
You found, you say, or
I know I saw it.
it wasn't in the enabling resolution, you know,
No,
in the organizational resolutions. And it wasn't in the, like, next few months either. And Mariah did a search based on the word, it didn't come up.
Just that. It was Catherine and there was one the year before,
Yeah,
and then I think it was
And I
Catherine
was
and maybe
not
Pat.
on previous year.
No, Pat, well,
Yeah, it was the two of us, but it was never made official. So the easy thing now is just to vote and make
just
it
do it,
official.
yeah, right.
We don't need to spend time looking. Even if
well,
it's
it's
a, even
kind
if
of
it's a
fun to
duplicate,
spend time. looking.
even if it's a duplicate vote.
Yeah, right.
Um,
And maybe we're reiterating, maybe we're doing it for new, but you know,
Right.
whatever, whichever.
That's
Even
correct.
the audit in the search engines, they couldn't.
There it is.
Where is it? You found it?
Hunter and Road. 2024.
Which
So
resolution was it?
Catherine,
Yeah, but what, is there a
Where is
resolution on it?
somewhere.
But that's what they couldn't find. That's what we're at. Are you seeing a date on that to look at?
Well, I had written it down, I took it out of the minutes, so I can figure it out.
Well, or we,
Minutes of which meeting?
Huh?
Minutes of which meeting?
Yeah, town board meeting.
No, which town board? Yeah, it wasn't the planning board, that's for sure. Anyway, I think the easiest thing to do is simply to
Just
Yeah,
do it
begin.
again. Yeah. So I move that we appoint Pat Woodworth and Catherine Hunter to be our committee to audit the court.
I'll second that.
and then we better get busy.
Yeah,
I did go online and get the,
You got the paper?
I got the new forms.
Yeah.
They're changed.
Now, does that have to be done in 2024?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's
Well,
what,
it's a 2024 data they're going to be auditing.
Hmm.
that was what I had written, it was 2024.
Mhm.
All right,
You'd wait till like into January or so to do that, right? So you have the whole year in front of you?
But we
No, that-
thought,
This
That's
is
next-
last year we're working
Oh,
on.
gotcha,
23.
gotcha, okay.
It says on the
Twenty
letter,
twenty-three.
the year 24.
20, it's 24.
yeah, it's 24 we're going to be auditing.
Yeah.
You never did audit 23.
The 24 is not over with yet.
They said they have the data for us, though. I mean, we got that
Oh, okay.
letter from the board saying, you know, we've got it, you can, if you want to audit. Like, now's the time, so. Ready for the vote?
Mhm.
Okay, Mariah?
Connors,
Yep.
Hanson,
Yep.
Hunter,
Yes,
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that completes the business. For next time, I've got so far the appointment to the our representatives of the AOT annual meeting. What else? Mhm.
well,
all the ARPA decisions.
Yeah, revisit the ARPA again.
No, we're not revisiting now. We're
We're gonna-
deciding.
We're gonna be, nailing down, approving contract.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we have the public hearing
Oh, that's right, there's a public hearing on,
on the real property tax exemption for
Right,
seniors
right.
and disabled persons.
that's right. We may have, we probably won't have anything on the special event. Because it basically needs to be
Next year.
revisited, it's gonna take a little while.
Did the Cartman easement get signed yet?
Yes, it's signed, it's in the process of being
Mailed?
filed,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
good,
because it needs to go to the county and to the DEC.
right.
Mhm.
It just sounded complicated for getting it signed.
Well, the signature, yeah, it was a little bit, because they had to go to them and come back, and
Yeah.
everybody had to be notarized. That all happened, though. So
Right.
it's now been all assembled. Just needs to be filed. Okay, business having been concluded, Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, yeah, you too.